Welcome to the Order of the Lily and Eagle podcast. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Larry.
In the previous podcast, I discussed similarity and dissimilarity, and similarity becoming conformity. This time I want to speak about freedom, which in a sense comes out of dissimilarity, or it is a factor in dissimilarity. So I want to discuss freedom a little bit in this podcast. So to begin with, freedom is a wonderful thing, but that doesn't really help us in defining what it is and what it isn't. For instance, is it possible to be completely free, totally free? Can I do whatever I want? I don't have to conform to all those societal norms and can I be just completely off the shelf? Well, if we look at freedom from the physical point of view, humankind was inspired by nature to create flying machines, but our bodies cannot fly because they're restrained by the mechanical laws of nature. So in that sense, absolutely, we cannot be free. We can't do whatever we want physically. We're limited. Try jumping off the top of a really tall building.
See how that works out.
It's a bit of a splat situation. So we can't be totally free, at least physically. And I would suspect that's also the case in other realms of life, in societies, communities, and so on and so forth. So we're not able to be totally free. And we also know that that law of conformity, which restricts our freedoms because we have to conform to society or what people tell us to do, that's one restriction. We also have companies, manufacturing, offices and what have you. They will have policies for their company. So that's another restriction in your daily life. Countries with the laws of man, laws made by men, they restrict us. Our father, our mother, our sibling, and, they all add to the conformity thing of restricting us and preventing us from us being totally free. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be free, because there's an internal freedom as well as an external freedom. And we need to understand that we can have our beliefs, we can have our religion, which essentially is an internal thing. And of course, America is based on that, Britain is based on that. Most countries around the world will have that as yes, you can believe whatever you want, you can have your religion, and so on and so forth. And the next step from that is, well, if you are given that freedom, then you should extend that freedom to everybody else around you. So you shouldn't be demanding that you believe in my God. And of course, that's happening in quite a few places around the world. So freedom has, on the one hand, we have the right for freedom, but then we have an obligation or a duty to reciprocate that freedom to other people, even our own children. I know we're meant to, stop them doing this, that, and the other, but it's the manner in which we do that. If you hit them over the head, no. Physical violence is not engendering freedom. It's just engendering resentment. And I suspect resentment is yet another interesting topic we can discuss later on. So, I've now got to go to my notes, because I may have gone off target a little bit here. So we need to extend whatever we have, we should be extending it to other people. We're given freedom and liberation, and we should give that or allow other people to have the same. But what's important, we are liberating ourselves from ourself. Yes, revolution, but internally. We liberate our being from all the effects of laws of conformity with which we were imbued, that's a lovely word, as a child. So all the stuff that we were taught without us making our own judgment, means we conform to things and they stop us doing what we should be doing internally. So we liberate ourselves from that, or we should be. Or it's not what's going on outside of us, it's mainly about what's going on inside us. Not out there, but in here.
And mainly the part internally that we disagree with, the places where we have
I don't even think we disagree with it, Larry. It's just there. It's only if we observe what we do, how we do, what we think, what we feel, how we act, and then assess, well, did I really want to do that? Did I really want to think that? Did I really want to feel that? I mean, one example is, different people, immigrants, bad. But why? I've known so many different people who were immigrants in Britain, America, they weren't bad. They were just people. And this is the law of similarity. They all have the same concerns. They want to bring up their child. They want it to be healthy. They want it to have an education. They want it to have a job. You tell me any country in the world where parents wouldn't want that for their child. Well, unless there are some exceptions. Okay, let's leave it at that. But fundamentally, that's the core that's similar to all people. How they actually manifest that is different. But if they see something that, it's not right, or it doesn't feel right, or you acknowledge it's not right, then you've got to get rid of it. Or you've got to challenge it. You've got to try and change it. You've got to, and so on and so forth. That's how you can become a better person. You become free. Liberation is there, not out there. I don't need a gun to shoot myself. I might need a gun to protect myself, but it doesn't make me free. What makes me free is what's going on inside. At least that's what I've discovered. And you guys can go out there and discover it for yourself. And you can disagree with what I've said. I'm not going to come after you and force you, because that would be against the law of dissimilarity that we discussed previously. And that would be going against a law of nature. So I don't do that. I try not to do that. Anyway, I've spoken too much, gone off topic, but essentially freedom requires obligations to go together. And that's it. Have a great day.